That fractionation term I've heard used by actually pickup artists back in the day. And I think when they meet a girl, I think they try to dial in all sorts of different emotions. And it's not all bad and it's not all good. It's just experiencing all of these things, which just kind of throw you off.
Yeah, and if you watch any good movie, like think about how every horror movie starts. It's the most perfect family vacation in the world. So like this just massive high, and if I can get you to a peak, I can make the valley look way deeper. So
Okay.
that's kind of the theory of fractionation is if I can kind of bring you up and down, not only do you get more used to going down and kind of get more comfortable in those spots, but I can exaggerate how down you go if I bring you up first. So that's the
Okay.
theory behind that. This
Okay.
was invented by a guy named Milton Erickson. He's kind of the grandfather of modern hypnotherapy. He's the guy who got it approved by the American Medical Association.
Okay. All right. And so when you look at some of the things that were happening in 20 and 21 and 22, whether intentional or not, I guess you see that FEAR cycle to the max.
It is definitely a full repetition of that, and it's just nonstop. And we could go on for a long time. So just let me know
Yeah.
wherever you can dig.
The wild thing that I remember during that time, Chase, is that I had really intelligent, successful friends. They always have that analogy that when the tide goes out, you see who's wearing a bathing suit and who's not. And these were men and women with, 7, 8 figures of income, great titles on LinkedIn. And some of these people were at their front door hiding when the delivery came and then were wiping everything off. They went back to drinking, back to bad habits. And like, honestly, I couldn't even recognize them. And yet other people were like, okay, cool. I got it. This is a new normal. I'm going to roll through it. I'm going to, we actually were in a fight. And in some ways, maybe I had it easier than others because I worked every day. I was doing burpees in the stairwell when they took the gym. I'd stopped drinking 5 years earlier. And I was just like, let's go. But like other people, not what you expected. And maybe that's because of, I don't know, this brainwashing technique. I guess maybe it can't be resisted, or maybe it goes to the vulnerabilities of people you wouldn't see normally.
Yeah, and I can tell you exactly why. Exactly why you saw all your friends like that. It's the same reason that we see highly intelligent CEO that's also socially savvy and smart join a cult. Like it's a very similar thing. Let me tell you about quickly about an experiment that was done, and they redid this in London with Dr. Philip Zimbardo, the Stanford prison experiment guy. But
Yeah. Yeah.
they kind of set up a hotel conference room, like one of those, like a Holiday Inn, kind of a crappy little conference room thing. And there's a circle of chairs. There's 14 people in the room. 13 of them are actors. There's only one real volunteer. So 13 of these people have one set of instructions, and that is do nothing. So they're next to a kitchen or near a kitchen, and suddenly through this locked door under a vent system, this smoke starts billowing into the room. There's obviously a fire is somewhere. The smoke starts coming into the room. Not long after, the smoke detectors are going off, beeping super loud, and this one volunteer surrounded by these 13 people is just kind of like looking around is like, am I crazy? Like no one else is doing anything about this and kind of looking around for a social cue. I need some kind of a cue to do something. And only one guy out of all the people they tested, only one guy stood up out of his chair. And for anybody listening, I know that my instinct too. I'm thinking what you were thinking.
What the London Real Investment Club actually does for you, it gives you the keys to open that door to the inside deals. In the last 3 weeks, I've participated in 3 incredible deals: a layer 2 Bitcoin protocol, an incredible AI protocol. The deal flow is beyond what I expected. I don't think I've ever seen a model like this that just gives average folks the opportunity to be behind the deals. And that's exactly what we've done. Not only that, you get to hang out with Brian Rose every week. And for me, that was huge because I look at Brian as somebody who's not only an expert in the space, and I think is on the leading edge, but just the leading edge of thought with London Real and the work he's doing there. To anyone who's taking a serious look at this, I know it's a big decision. It was a big decision for me and my family, and it is one of the best decisions I've ever made. So I wish you all the best and hope you come join us.
I would never do that, right? We all think, not me, never. So one guy actually stands up out of his chair. He's an artist, and you can see him get up. It's on video. And he goes over there, checks the door, it's locked. And then he's like, oh, I'm not waiting around here. He puts his newspaper down, he walks to the door, and he gets his hand on the door. And one woman says one sentence, and he turns around and sits in his chair. And all she said was, she told us to wait here, didn't she? That's it. So at the end of the day, with this little experiment, 100% of people sat in this room long enough to die of asphyxiation. So one of the things that kind of reveals is when people say, that public speaking is the number one fear of human beings, it's actually judgment, like shame and judgment, right? So nobody's scared of speaking because if they did a great job, it would feel great. We're scared of people judging us, especially a large group, even of strangers. So if a person sees 3 or 4 or 5 friends start going down one little pathway, the judgment is a bigger fear than death, which is why public speaking rates higher than death. So if it's powerful enough to override our desire to live, is this fear of judgment, which means I'm gonna kind of go with the crowd. And we have 2 options when we go with the crowd. Either A, I'm a sheep, I have to believe I'm a sheep, or B, I will somehow rationalize and convince myself that this is the right thing to do. I choose between those 2, and I'm sure you can guess what we all choose.
Now, if you have practice going against the crowd, like say you've been canceled or you get the hate on the social, are you less likely to go with it because you recognize it and you're like, okay, this feels crappy, but I've been here before and I better trust my instinct, or does that not necessarily help, do you think?
I do think it helps because you've been shown evidence. Because like when we're walking up on stage and our hands are sweaty, you and me speak on stages a lot, which is fine for us. It's not a big deal. But the first time I got on stage, first time you got on stage, it was very different. I'll speak for myself, but I was really nervous. Like they're all going to know you're faking it. All of this stuff is going on in my head. But now I'm kind of inoculated from experience. But when we go up and we're nervous, that's the same physiological reaction as there's a saber-toothed tiger coming after us. It's the same body reaction. So it's really hardwired unless our brain has a lot of evidence that we're not going to get killed by a tiger, right? So we know we get less and less and less. There's no tigers. We kind of realize no tigers coming. So these people who have faced public criticism multiple times, or they've made an identity out of like, I am the guy who bucks the narrative. I'm the guy who does this. Way more likely because there's more cognitive dissonance if I stay with the crowd because I'm going against what all these people think I am, which is still a little bit of a fear of judgment.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.